That a picture of your yard?
Honey, that is my yard.
I was going to say, that looks like when you walk up your walkway.
Yes, and I tell you what, I'm not interested in being bored.
That's your house.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, okay.
This is the thing, sweetheart, is that I'm older now and I stay home
But
more.
you still look really good.
Well, thank you. I had great taxidermy.
Stop. You have great genes. And you don't look too bad in them either.
Well,
all right,
thank you.
Let's talk. I had to just get all that in because I hardly ever get to work with you.
Love you.
All right, so you guys, this is Phillip's Butterflies on Broadway collection. What you're going to get is a 4-piece collection. And Phillip, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm getting 2 Verbenas.
Yes.
And 2 Creeping Jennies.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
And the Creeping Jenny is perennial, and that is that chartreuse foliage that lights up everything.
Oh, look at that flower in your garden.
That's at my house. Remember when I had those between the steps? But
Like,
how beautiful. But you can see how that chartreuse lights up everything else.
I
It
totally
backlights.
remember these
And
now.
I've got the Verbena bonariensis growing up through that because it backlights it. The butterflies come, the hummingbirds come, but my favorite, the hummingbird moth.
Oh,
and I had never seen one until I planted the Verbena bonariensis, which is what this tall, and by the way, this is an annual, but it is a self-seeding annual. You know how Cleome, your spider flowers, come back from seed every year?
Right.
This comes back from seed every year.
So you get new ones.
You get new ones
without
but
planting them.
They'll be in unexpected places.
I love that.
And they're tall and they're spindly looking, but they sway and they don't break off. You can clip them off and use them. Oh, may I get into your space for a second?
Yes, honey.
Okay.
I won't breathe on you.
Thank you. But I want to show you what you can do, because I've got the roses in here that we showed earlier.
Yeah.
But I've got the roses. I also pulled up some of the Lysimachia, which is what's hanging down here, and it's in the water. In a week,
I love
this
it.
Lysimachia will have rooted.
Wow.
So you've got that going up.
That's
but look,
the Creeping Jenny.
look how tall the beautiful Verbena bonariensis is in an arrangement. I love the spiky things.
So this, you guys, is one I'm always talking about. I'm so excited that Phillip's back with this collection because these are a lot of the plants that he chose especially for you. And this is actually one of the things that is one of your signatures.
It is.
That you use when you design gardens.
It is, and also you can see through these. That's what I like. So you can plant other things underneath it and it doesn't shade them. I've got these planted around my aviary because they're tall and give me tall color, but I can see through the stems and still see the birds.
Now, these are an annual, these purple ones right here, you guys. So does that mean they're going to get this big one summer?
Oh, sweetheart, this is what they do, and this is how quickly they grow.
Summer.
They will make seeds this year that will make new plants this year, and then they're coming up in your garden.
I love it.
Thereafter, but they're very shallow rooted, so if they're any place you don't want them, you can pull them up. But I have been transplanting them around the garden.
I love it.
Now I've got big swaths of this beautiful purple in the garden. Always something spiky to cut and bring in, and I use them in my hydrangea arrangements.
These really fill in the gap too. They get nice and big.
Yes.
And then the Jenny.
Look at it.
Is like a ground cover also,
down
isn't
here.
it? If I plant it in the ground.
Well, I've got it all. It'll hang over the pots like this. Now, if you bought the sedum mats, which will grow in the hot
from
sun.
yesterday, right?
Yes. From in the hot sun, this will grow in the shade or the hot sun. It will also grow in a boggy area. If you've got an area that's really wet that you would like to make beautiful and chartreuse colored, plant that Lysimachia and it will come back year after year. But even pulling off little pieces of it and sticking it in a pot, it will grow. I don't buy new plants. I just stick in the cuttings directly into the soil.
So, and again, if you guys are creating a butterfly garden, I know a lot of you are doing that this summer. This is something that is great to plant with your butterfly weed or anything, your butterfly bushes that you're using to attract butterflies and give them the proper food. This is another fantastic plant to add there. So again, you're getting 2 Verbena, that's what these are.
And this is how they're shipping.
And 2
by
of the
way,
Creeping Jennies.
And I'm holding them like this because it gives you an idea. It's like, oh, there's enough to do 2 pots. Yes, and by the way, take a look at this, because 1/2 of this collection is this.
Wow.
This is how fast these suckers grow.
So you can do 2 pots like this
You
out
can
of
do
one
2
collection.
pots like that, and what I'm doing is that I am doing beautiful pots outside of the main windows of my house.
Okay.
Because when I'm inside the house and I'm looking out, I really want to see something beautiful. And you know, some days it's raining and I'm not going out, but I still look out the window and maybe I see this, maybe I see one of my bird houses.
Right.
But these really show up, and you'll also see the butterflies and the hummingbirds coming through.
Oh my gosh, and I love this purple color. Butterflies do love blue and purple. They really are attracted to it.
Yes.
And your hummingbirds will love it too.
Look at that.
Look how, now how many did you, are those like the ones that you transplanted?
Those are the, listen, I had the one plant there, it's seeded, and that's what came up. And by the way, it hides the stump that where I cut down an enormous tree 2 years ago. And so I have all of this in the garden. There was Cleome was in that picture with it also, which is another self-seeding annual. Now, this is not to be confused with perennials that come back from the root. This actually comes back from the seeds. And see that pot where it was in there? These will come back in the pot.
Is that the creeping Jenny coming down your steps?
That's the creeping Jenny.
Now that is a perennial.
That is perennial.
So that
comes back every single year.
Yeah.
But see, it lights the pathway.
Yeah.
And if you've got boxwoods, if you plant these around your dark green boxwoods, then the boxwoods don't disappear into the lawn.
That is gorgeous. Wow.
And also, I plant mine with tomato plants. I'll have them in the edge of my big pot with my tomato plants. It spills over the side. Really beautiful.
I love that idea too. Okay, so stay in the ordering process. These are really popular. We are